18EE fourth week. Okay, in this we will read about introduction to power system, first model, overhead transmission lines and overhead line insulators. Next model is line parameters, performance of transmission lines, corona, underground cable, distribution, and next reliability and quality of distribution system. We will read about these topics in detail. Okay, first we will go with the first model, that is the introduction to power system. What do you mean by power system? Can anyone answer? What do you mean by power system? Power system means generation, transmission and distribution. Okay. Okay, fine. Power system means what I have said: generation, transmission and distribution. Okay. That is what power system. Energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. It can be converted from one form to another. Okay, you know the definition of this. Energy can be neither be created nor be destroyed, but it can be converted from one form to another form. And what about how we will generate the electricity? There are various, or there are many resources available for energy production. Okay, that is in detail you will read in 6M, that is or in further semester you will read about that. Okay, generation of an electrical energy is nothing but the conversion of various other forms of energy into electrical energy. For example, if you take solar energy, okay, that is a sun energy, that we will convert into electrical form. One form of energy we will convert into another. Okay, that is a sun energy to electrical energy. There, if you take many examples, that is hydroelectricity and wind, and also we can go with the fossil fuels like coal and nuclear. Okay, so there are different renewable energy sources are available and also non-renewable energy sources are available. From that electricity is produced. Okay, this is the generation part. In this subject we will read how the transmission is done. Okay, what are the parameters in transmission and what is the effects in that. Okay, what are the factors affect in that transmission, and also we will read about the distribution also. Here the electrical power is generated in bulk, and at generating stations, which are also called power stations, what they are saying is electrical power is generated in bulk. Okay, we always generated in bulk at the generating stations, which we call that as power stations. Okay, generated electrical energy is demanded by the consumers. We the consumers, okay, we are the consumers. We need 24 we always expect that 24 hours electricity should be available. Okay, we want uninterruptible power supply, that is we want continuous supply. Okay, this generated electrical energy is demanded by the consumers. What we generate from power stations, what the generation is available, that is demanded by the consumers. Okay, that demanded by the consumers. Here generated electrical power is to be supplied. We cannot keep that after generation, we cannot keep like that only. Okay, we should transmit and we should distribute. Okay, hence the generated electrical power is to be supplied to the consumers. Generally, power stations are located too far away from the town and cities where electrical energy is demanded. They are saying that power stations or electrical plants, that is power plants, are located too far away from the towns and also cities where electrical energy is demanded, more need. Okay, there exists a large network of conductors between the power stations and the consumers. This network is broadly classified into two parts. That is, one is transmission and second is distribution. Okay. This is the diagram of that. First, I'll reduce the size so that you can see. This is the generating station 11 kV. Okay. Starting, we will produce the generation 11 kV, and next step up transformer. By using step up transformer, we will step up from 11 kV to 220 kV. Okay, that is a primary transmission from 11 kV. Then next, receiving station. At the receiving station, that is a step down transformer. From again 220 kV to, we will step down to 33 kV. That is a receiving station. At receiving station, what we do, by using step down transformer, we will step down from 220 kV to 33 kV. Okay. First generation will be 11 kV, and we will step up that 11 kV to 220 kV by using step up transformers. Again, from 220 kV to 33 kV, we will step down by using step down transformer, that is a receiving station. And next, here feeder. Okay, between the that is a station, receiving transmission or station, receiving station and substation, there is a line called feeder. Okay, secondary transmission. This is what primary transmission from 11 kV to 33 kV. And next year, secondary transmission. Secondary transmissions, step down transformer. Again, we will step down from 33 kV to 6.6 kV. Or we can give there step down, we will for 6.6 kV. Okay. From there only we can give to that supply to large bulk loads, for example, factories, industries. Okay. That supply can be given to factories and industries. Okay, that is a secondary transmission. Next, coming to primary distribution. Okay, here from 11 kV to 6.6 kV is transmission, and here next primary distribution from 6.6 kV to 400 or 230 voltage. We will step down from 11 kV, we will step up one step up, and next continuously step down from one voltage level to another voltage level. Okay, till 230 voltage or 400 voltage. Okay, we the consumers use 230 or 400. Okay, in ohms the supply will be 230, or some for some particular 400. Okay. Distribution substation 6.6 kV to 400 voltage or 230 voltage. This is a distribution. Secondary distribution is, this is what, from 400. Okay, and this is given to consumers, servicemen, distributors. This is the line diagram of a typical transmission and distribution scheme. Okay, starting we will generating station 11 kV, and from 11 kV to we will step up to 220 kV, and from again 220 kV to we will step down. Okay, we will step down to 66 kV or 33 kV. Okay, this is 66 or 33 kV, and from again 33 kV to 6.6, and from 6.6 kV to we will come down to 400 or 230. Okay, or we can get the 6.6 kV to or 3.3 kV, from that reduce to 400 or 230. This is the line diagram of a typical transmission and distribution scheme. This they have asked many times. Okay, this is a complete flow of an electrical power from the generating station to the consumer. You can observe, this is a complete flow of an electrical power from the generating station to the consumer. Okay. At the generating station, electrical power is generated with the help of three-phase alternators running in parallel. What they are saying is, at the generating station, an electrical power is generated by using with the help of what? With the help of three-phase alternators running in parallel. Okay. In this scheme, shown the voltage level is 11 kV. Generated voltage is 11 kV, but the voltage level may be 6.6 kV, 22 kV or 33 kV depending upon the capacity of the generating station. Okay, it may be 11 or 6.6 or 22 or 33 kV depending upon the capacity of the generating station. Okay, after the generating station, actual here what we read, the subject is transmission and distribution. Started, this is the scheme can be divided into 4 sections. That is, I have already said, primary transmission, secondary transmission, primary distribution, secondary distribution. Okay, this is the 4 section what we get in generating scheme. Transmission, typical line diagram of a typical transmission and distribution scheme. Okay, first primary transmission. You already observed that for the economic aspects, and that is, you cannot from 11 kV we cannot transmit or distribute to the consumer because there will be losses. Okay, if you send the transmit the 11 kV, finally we won't get what we want. Okay, what the voltage is. So for the economic aspects and the voltage level is increased, we will step up here. Okay, from 11 to 220 kV or 132 kV, we will step up with the help of step up transformer. Hence the transmission is also called a high voltage transmission. Here the user uses three-phase, three-wire system. Okay, three-phase, three-wire system. Next is here the secondary transmission, the primary transmission line continues via transmission towers till the receiving stations. At receiving stations, the voltage level is reduced to 22 kV or 33 kV. What we got in primary transmission? 220 kV. From 220 kV, what we will reduce in secondary transmission? We will reduce to 22 kV or 33 kV using the step down transformer. The reduced voltage level of 22 or 33 kV, the power is then transmitted to various substations using three-phase, three-wire system. This is a secondary transmission. And next is the conductor used for the secondary transmission are called feeders. Okay. Next, primary distribution. At the substation, the voltage level is here in secondary transmission. What we got final voltage is 33. Okay, from 222 we have reduced to 33 or 22 kV. Here primary distribution from 22 or 33 kV. We will reduce the voltage level to 6.6 kV or 3.3 kV or 11 kV using a step down transformer. Here also we use a three-phase, three-wire system. Okay. Power is further transmitted to the local distribution centers. This is a primary distribution, also called as high voltage distribution. Okay. Next, for the large consumers like factories and industries, the power is directly transmitted to such loads from a substation, because here the load is here 3.3 kV or 6.6 kV, it may be 11 kV. So again, it can be supplied to a factories and industries. The power is directly transmitted to such loads. Distribution. Here the distribution centers, there are step down distribution transformers. The voltage level here 6.6 kV or 11 kV or 3.3 kV, it is reduced to 400 voltage using a distribution transformer. Sometimes it may be reduced to 230 voltage. The power is then transmitted using distributors and service mains to the consumers. This is a secondary distribution, also called low voltage distribution. Here we use a three-phase four-wire system. What do you mean by three-phase three-wire system and three-phase four-wire system? Can anyone answer? Three-phase three-wire system means RYB. Okay. In inputs, primary side also RYB and secondary side also RYB. And what about three-phase four-wire system? RYB, and next year RYB neutral. Okay. Or you can write earth. Next, the voltage between any two lines is 400, while the voltage between any of the three lines and a neutral is 230. That is what? Single phase. Single phase means one phase, that is R or Y or B. Okay. We can take any line. In three lines R, Y, B, we can take any one, R and neutral. Between R and neutral, there will be a voltage is 230. Between two lines, that is R and Y, 400 voltage will be there. They are saying that only the voltage between any two lines will be 400, and while the voltage between any of the three lines and the neutral is 230. Okay. Next, the single phase lighting loads are supplied using a line and neutral. That is what we get in the ohm. Okay. Now in ohm there is a single phase. What we get is single phase 230 voltage. Okay. Line and neutral. While loads like motors are supplied using three-phase lines. Next, we shall discuss about the components of distribution. That is, in that first is a substation. Substation, here transmission. You have already know about substation. We have discussed about that. Receiving station. Okay, and primary transmission, secondary transmission. Okay, that is what here it is. Transmission lines bring the power up to the substations, that is at a voltage level of 22 kV or 33 kV. At the substation level, it is reduced to 3.3 kV or 6.6 kV. Here 22 kV or 33 kV for substation. 22 kV or 33 kV will come. Okay, that is reduced to 3.3 kV or 6.6 kV in the substation. Then using the feeders, the power is given to the local distribution centers. Local distribution centers. What we get output from the substation? 3.3 kV or 6.6 kV. Here local distribution station from 3.3 kV or 6.6 kV, that is reduced to 400 voltage or 230 voltage in this station. Okay. This is a distributed further using distributors. This is also called a distribution substation. Next is a feeders. This also they will ask. This is important, two questions. Typical line diagram of a transmission and distribution scheme and the components of a station. Components. Okay. Components of distribution. Next. These are the conductors which are of large current carrying capacitors. The feeders connect the substation to the area where power is to be finally distributed to the consumer. No tappings are taken from the feeders. The feeder current always remain constant. Here you'll observe here diagram also. From that you'll understand. This is a substation. Okay. This is a substation. From station P, Q, R, S, these are the feeders. Okay, there is no tappings on feeders. These are the distributors which are supplied by feeders. Okay, from here to here, these lines are feeders. You can observe here these lines. Okay, this one. Okay, these lines. from substation to distributors, that line is called feeders. No consumer is directly connected to the feeders. Here PQ, QR, RS and PS are the distributors which are supplied by the feeders. You can observe for distributor, substation, from substation distributor it is connected one line. Okay, that line is called as feeder. In distributors, these are the conductors used to transfer power from distribution center to the consumers. Okay, you understood from the diagram. The tappings are taken for the supply to the consumers. Okay, tappings means this is what the tappings. Four we have taken from the substation. 4 tappings are available here. Distribution, the tappings are taken for the supply to the consumers. Next, the voltage drop along the distributor is the main criterion to design the distributors. How we will design the distributors means main the voltage drop. They will consider the voltage drop. Okay. Next, service mains. What do you mean by service mains? These are the small cables between the distributors and the actual consumers. Okay, this is the small cables between this is a distributor. Okay, this is distributor and this is a consumer here. Okay, what arrow marks? These arrow marks are these are service mains. Okay, that is a cable here. Small cables between the distributors and the actual consumers. That is what service means. Here, interconnection of feeders, distributors and service mains. There is no tappings on feeders. You can observe here. There is on feeder. It is not connected to consumer directly. Okay. There is no connection from substation to distributor, only that is a feeder. From feeder there is no another tappings. Okay, next, the service mains are used to supply the consumers from distributors. Tappings are taken from the distributors. Next, we shall know about the advantages of high voltage transmission. Here first, reduction in the current. Okay, these advantages of high voltage transmission. First point is reduction in the current. How we will reduce the current? Power transmitted is given by, that is there is a equation, P is equal to square root of 3 VI cos phi. V is equal to transmission voltage and I is a load current. Okay, what about cos phi is a power factor. I is equal to P divided by square root of 3 into V into cos phi. Okay, as if you increase the voltage level, you can observe here it is inversely proportional. So as you increase the voltage level, current will be reduced. That is what they are saying. Advantages of high voltage. If you increase the voltage, current will be reduced. Okay. What is the use of reducing current? From the above expression, they are saying that it can be seen that for the constant power and power factor, the load current is inversely proportional to the transmission voltage. If we increase the voltage level, then automatically current get reduced. If current get reduced, then size of a conductor required also reduces for transmitting same amount of power, and cost also reduced. This is the advantage of high voltage. This is the first advantage. Next, reduction in the losses. First is a reduction in the losses. Power loss in the line is given by omega is equal to 3 I square R. Omega is equal to 3 into I equation what I have said, that they have substituted, that is a P divided by square root of 3 into V into cos phi. In first point we have discussed. Okay, into R. Here also you can observe it is a inversely proportional. Okay, as you increase the voltage level, that reduction in the losses will be increased. So if the power loss in a line is inversely proportional to the square of the transmission voltage, then greater the transmission voltage, lesser is the loss in the line. Okay, that is what they are saying here. If you increase the voltage level, losses will be reduced. This is the second advantage. And next is a reduction in volume of a conductor material required. How the volume of conductor material required will be reduced? There is a formula, that is omega is equal to P square R divided by V square cos square phi. What about R is equal to resistance is equal to rho L divided by A. What is rho? Resistivity of conductor material. L is equal to length of line in meters. A is the area of cross section of conductor in square meters. R is the resistance per conductor in ohm. Omega is equal to 1 divided by square root of 1 divided by V square cos square, and next rho L divided by A. Here conductor material required is equal to 3 into area of conductor into length of a line. This is what formula here. And area of conductor, what we got, A is equal to P square rho L divided by omega V square cos square phi. That you substitute. Volume equation is 3p square rho L square divided by omega V square cos square phi. Here also the V is inversely proportional. So if we increase the voltage level, what happens here? What about volume? Volume of the conductor material will be reduced and the cost will be reduced. So this is the third advantage. In voltage drop and improvement of voltage regulation. Voltage drop in the transmission line is given by, you can observe, voltage drop is equal to 3 into I into R. Okay, with if you reduce the current due to if your current will be reduced due to what? Increase in voltage, and losses will be reduced. What about voltage regulation? Voltage drop divided by sending voltage into 100. Here there is a formula 3J rho L divided by V. Here all it is a constant and V is inversely proportional. If we increase the voltage level, then what about voltage regulation? Voltage regulation will be improved here. Regulation of the line is improved when voltage increases. Okay. Next advantage is increase in transmission efficiency. If losses are reduced, automatically efficiency you'll get the high. Okay, here there is a formula output power, input power, output power divided by output power plus losses. If you substitute the formula, that is omega is equal to P square rho L divided by A V square cos square phi. That is the formula for output. Okay. J is equal to what? J is equal to current density, that is I divided by A. Okay. Omega is equal to P square rho L divided by, instead of writing A, they have written I divided by J, and if you solve that, you'll get I is equal to P divided by I is equal to P divided by square root of 3 into V into cos phi. But what we know, that is omega is equal to P square rho L J divided by V square cos square phi. Okay, if you compare with the two equations, what we got, I before I is equal to, the actual equation is P divided by square root of 3 into V into cos phi. Okay, if you compare what we got, losses from losses equation, that from that if you take out I, then compare these two equations. Okay, this equation and this equation, if you compare that, what we will get? Transmission efficiency P divided by P plus W. If you substitute the value here, P divided by P plus W equation is this one. Okay, W equation is square root of 3 J rho L P divided by V cos phi. This is what? This is the equation. From that equation, if you solve this one, P, take out common P, P divided by P 1 plus square root of 3 J rho L divided by V cos phi. Okay. omega formula. Okay, omega is equal to, we already know this formula. Just to substitute, I is equal to P divided by square root of 3 into V into cos phi. That you will substitute and get the value of omega. P divided by P plus omega, substitute the value of omega. So from that equation we will get 1 minus square root of 3j OL divided by V cos phi. Okay, if you take out this one, they have written to the power of minus 1. Okay, that means nothing but 1 divided by 1 plus square root of 3 into j into OL divided by V cos phi. Okay, they are saying that J, Rho and L are constants. Transmission efficiency increases when line voltage is increased. Here also it is inversely proportional. So they are saying transmission efficiency increases when line voltage is increased. Here one minus is there. Okay. For example, if you get this is a 0.9, 0.1, because this is a 1 divided by voltage. If it is increased value, then you will get less. So this value will be more. Okay, when you compare with the, if you increase the voltage level, you will get the efficiency high. Okay, problems you will come to know. Okay, increased power handling capacity, power transmitted over a transmission line is given by P is equal to Vs VR divided by X sine delta. What do you mean by Vs and VR? Sending voltage, receiving voltage. Okay. Then power transmitted is proportional to the square of the voltage, which increases power handling capacity of the line. Here X, that is inversely proportional to the X reactance. Okay, here as we increase the voltage level, the here power handling capacity is increased. If it is Vs is equal to VR, sending end voltage becomes receiving end voltage. If it becomes equal, then square of voltage level. Okay, square of voltage, it is directly proportional. So as we increase the voltage level, so the power handling capacity also increases here. Next, the number of circuits and the land requirement reduces as transmission voltage increases. This is also advantage. The total line cost per megawatt per kilometer decreases considerably with increase in line voltage. If you increase the voltage level, the total line cost per megawatt per kilometer also decreases, and also land requirement also decreases, and it can be easily tapped and extended with the simple control of power flow in the network. These are the advantages of high voltage transmission. In next class, we shall discuss with the overhead transmission lines. Okay.